Hey, so you're thinking about moving to Bonners Ferry, Idaho. Well, you're in the right spot. That's what today's video is all about. Let's go. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button, tap the notifications bell so you can stay up to date on all of our latest content. Our real estate team, we get calls, texts, and emails every single day from people just like you trying to learn more about North Idaho. So if you're looking to move right now or 12 months from now, give us a call, text, or email. Let's get that conversation started. All right, we are in Bonners Ferry today. This is a very small town, about as far north as you can get in Idaho. We're about 27 miles from the Canadian border. Bonners Ferry's population is about 2,500, and then all of Boundary County, which is the county that this sits in, is population's only about 14,000. So it is sparsely populated. It is extremely conservative. It has a very nice small town feel. So if those are things you might be looking for, stick around. This is going to be a video all about Bonners Ferry. All right, we are standing down by the Kootenai River right here. This is the river that runs right through Bonners Ferry. This is only a small section of it. It's much bigger than this. This water looks absolutely beautiful, by the way, for swimming. It's a bunch of people swimming down that way. I thought it'd be a good point to talk about weather. It's summertime. It's, what are we at? The end of July right now. And the average summer temperatures here in Bonners Ferry are like 75 to 85. You're gonna have days that are over that. I think it might be in the 90s today, like low 90s. It's pretty damn hot in the sun, to be honest. A winter average temperatures 15 to 25. So it's a little bit colder than the Coeur area, as you'd expect, because we are almost 2 hours north, I'd say an hour and a half north of Coeur. So we're way up there. The average snowfall is about 60 to 80 inches a year, which is double what Coeur gets, I would say, in general. And rainfall probably in that same 20 to 30 inches a year, probably similar to Coeur But so it's a little bit more moist up here. You can tell as you're driving around these fields, everything's still pretty green up here, whereas Coeur this time of year starts to brown out a little bit. Super rugged. You've got beautiful mountains surrounding us, beautiful rivers, giant meadows. I imagine they're full of elk in the fall. We saw tons of deer driving around today. So this is like a really rugged, beautiful place. As I already said, it is very conservative. The locals would want me to tell you that. If you're super liberal and you want to move here, I would probably not do it. I don't think you'd be comfortable. And they probably wouldn't love you that much because they like it the way it is. So let's keep it that way. But overall, I think it's a pretty cool place. Like I said, it's a very small town, but it has all the amenities that you need. You'll see as we're driving around, we'll get some B-roll of that. You know, I saw Tractor Supply there. There's grocery stores, there's cool coffee shops, restaurants, all the things, gas stations, little media care. I think there's a little hospital here. I don't know about the quality of care. You're probably gonna want to go at least to Sandpoint, maybe down to Coeur for any kind of serious needs, but it's here if you do need it in a pinch. So, all right, let's keep cruising. All right, doing a little driving and talking. Don't worry, Kristen's behind the wheel. I'm super safe as always. Let's talk about real estate here in Bonners Ferry, Boundary County. Bonners is definitely on the cheaper side of homes when you're looking at all of North Idaho. And part of that is because it's pretty remote. There aren't a lot of, job options up here other than working in, construction, potentially service industry, things like that. I'm sure there are remote workers. There's also a lot of retirees up this way. A lot of retired veterans and first responders end up here in Bonners Ferry for sure. Average home price is sitting around $350,000. Obviously they go way up from there, depending on, lot size, waterfront views, things like that, size of the home, all that stuff. But that's where the average sits right now, which is about $200,000 lower than the average in the Coeur area. So quite a bit different. We also have let's see, we've got a variety of home types up here. You're not going to find as much, let's say, apartments. There are some here, but it's not going to be as viable for that. You are going to have a lot of single family homes. Homesteads are very popular up here. Just because land is cheaper, you can get a good chunk of land for a reasonable amount of money. Well, reasonable for these days. And you know, it's just, I think there's probably a better connection to nature up here. Lots of healthy food that can be found locally. We just went to Gathered, which is, they've got a coffee shop, let's see, a bakery. We got sandwiches there. They're super good sandwiches, and you know, cool people running it. What a great benefit to the community to have that here. And it looks like, you know, looking at the bread in the bakery, it looks like it's all, you know, good ingredients, homemade type stuff. So that's pretty cool. We are currently going to head over to the fairgrounds and check out that area and shoot a little bit of B-roll in the downtown area. There's like an older chunk of downtown that's got the brick buildings and things like that. And then there's kind of a separate area where, you know, some of the newer stores are, like newer gas stations. You know, might be where the Dollar General is or whatever. We'll go check that area out after, but that'll kind of give us a good overview of the whole town of, or city of Bonners Ferry. It's not very big, right? Remember that, but it does sit right on the river here, on the Kootenai River. It's absolutely gorgeous. We got some drone shots of that for you guys to check out. And yeah, let's go check out the fairgrounds. All right, we are down here at the fairgrounds for Boundary County. It looks like, as you would expect, you've got a rodeo spot over there. You've got some athletic fields. So the older part of town, we just cruised through it. That's where all the brick buildings were. It's super cute, by the way. They have hanging flower baskets all over, lots of cool little shops. That is up this way. And then the river kind of runs behind my lovely and talented camera woman. Let's talk about crime and safety. So as you'd expect, also small town, right? Not a whole lot of people. You're not going to have a huge amount of crime, especially violent crime, super low. Property crime is super low. Bonners Ferry has its own police department, believe it or not. There are a total of, at least if their website is accurate, there are 7 officers. That's including the chief and the assistant chief and 1 sergeant. So then you've got 4 guys working the road 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. That's pretty impressive. So I'm guessing they only have 1 guy on graveyards or something. But Boundary County Sheriff the jail is just over here. So they've got the Sheriff's Department in town as well. I'm sure they work hand in hand to protect the community up here. Like all law enforcement in North Idaho, they're amazing men and women, and they do a damn good job. So we love them. But yeah, so this is the fairgrounds. The Kootenai Wildlife Refuge is just down this way. We're going to cruise that way and see if we make it that far. I see a couple other things I want to check out along the way. So let's go do that. All right, we're getting a pretty good lay of the land now. Had the drone up a few times and got some good B-roll going so you guys can kind of see what it looks like here. Let's talk about schools. So there are some schools up here. It's the Boundary County School District. You've got Bonners Ferry High and Valley View Elementary. Obviously, they're going to be pretty small class sizes, lots of community involvement, you know, small town schools. What more can I say? If you need additional information on that, you know, obviously I don't have kids that go to school here, so I can't really speak on that. I would check out websites like niche.com and then try to get those reviews from parents that actually have kids in the school. That's the best way to get that information. But it's nice to know there are options here. Also keep in mind, homeschool in North Idaho is very popular, and I imagine a place like Bonners Ferry is a big homeschool community, which would mean there's lots of co-ops, so you can get your kids out in public around other kids and get them involved in the community so that you can raise them up right. All right, we're gonna head up to the, I would say like the newer part of town and check that out real quick on our way out of here. Thanks. All right, since we're driving, it'd be a good time to kind of talk about getting to Bonners Ferry. So from Coeur d'Alene, you're going to take 95 north all the way until you think you're about to hit Canada, and then you're pretty much there. 95 runs right through the center of Bonners Ferry, so it's easy to find. Drive time, so you're about an hour and a half north of Coeur d'Alene area. You are going to be 2 hours to Spokane International Airport, which is over in Spokane, Washington. 27 miles to Canada. Like I said that earlier, not sure drive time there, but about 27 miles. And you know, it's easy driving through town. Obviously keep in mind speed limits are lower, it's a small town. But other than that, that's the main thoroughfare. Everything else kind of runs off of that. And there's lots of back roads up here, lots of dirt roads, and you know, put on some country music, hop in the truck and go cruising. That's that kind of town. Okay, so there's a lot more here than you might think, you know, looking at the population size and the location. As you're driving through town, you know, I'm seeing O'Reilly Auto Parts, Dollar Tree, 76 gas station. There's multiple grocery stores. I think, yep, Safeway. So there's a lot here. It's not podunk, as you might imagine. It's a cool spot. And you're gonna have doctors and dentists in town, so don't worry about that. Oh, Starbucks. Ugh. Don't go to Starbucks. Lots of good local coffee shops here as well. And there is, I was looking online, I believe there is some type of hospital here, like Bonner General maybe, and don't shoot me for saying this, but that's the kind of hospital you go to die in, I think. That's terrible, I shouldn't have said that. I would probably go to Sandpoint or Coeur d'Alene if possible, but sometimes you just can't make it there because emergencies happen, so it's nice to know they're here. There's also Life Flight in North Idaho and Two Bear Air, if you don't know what that is a privately run helicopter evac team that is privately funded. Pretty cool thing. So that is up here as well and available. So at least you have access to get emergency medical help if needed. If you work at Bonner General, don't get mad at me. I'm sorry I said that. All right, what a beautiful backdrop. I've got, you know, just hayed out fields behind me waiting to get baled. Love it. My goats might eat that hay right there. Let's talk about outdoor activities. Obviously, it's North Idaho. You can do damn near anything you want outside here. There's a plethora of it. But since we're up this way, we've got, you know, hiking in the Canuxu National Forest. You've got the Kootenai Wildlife Refuge, which we attempted to get to, but ran out of time, did not make it there. Roman Nose Lakes. Those are 3 lakes that are up here, high alpine lakes that you can hike up to and check out. Obviously, tons of fishing on the Kootenai and Moyie rivers. Schweitzer Mountains, about 50 minutes away. That's excellent skiing, snowboarding, cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, and mountain biking in the summertime and hiking. And you've got all manner of wildlife here as well. Moose are a common occurrence, elk, eagles, bears, wolves, all the stuff. Grizzlies, you might get those coming down from Canada up here as well. So it's all available. It's all here. It's like the outdoor lover's dream. All right, cruising and talking again. It's the best way to get her done. Let's talk about utilities and internet, because those are big questions that come up for a lot of people. Do we even have internet up here? Yes, we do. Is it Starlink? Yes, probably. But Starlink works pretty well up here. It is a lot easier to get these days, despite whatever you may or may not feel about Elon. It is a functional way to get internet pretty much anywhere. And if you have Starlink and you're looking to do some traveling in the backcountry, I would check out Starbat. That's a local company right here in Blanchard that they created a Starlink that fits inside a Pelican case with a battery and a solar charger, and that thing will run for 24 hours with no outside power. So it's pretty damn cool. And then with the solar, it runs indefinitely. So I went off on a tangent there, but we did a podcast with them a while back. Cool company, local guys, good dudes. Check them out. As far as, we were talking about utilities and internet. So internet, you may have cable internet. I'm pretty sure they have cable internet up here as well, something like Spectrum. I don't know that fiber optic is up here yet. It is in North Idaho. It's pretty prominent in the Coeur d'Alene area, but I'm not sure if it's made it up this far yet. I'm sure it's coming though. Then let's talk about, utilities. If you're in the general city of Bonners Ferry, there's a chance you'll be on city water and city sewer. It does exist up here. Any of these rural properties, you're going to be on a well and septic though, which is also very common up here. Nothing to be concerned about if you've never had that. Well water up here is fantastic, and in most areas you're going to have a good producing well, so nothing to worry about there. Electric utilities up here is going to be Avista. They also do natural gas and potentially Northern Lights Co-op. So there are a few smaller throughout North Idaho. You're going to have different, Kootenai Electric or different smaller electrical type co-ops, but Avista is going to be the big one that covers most things up here. All right, time to mention a couple of local hot spots for food and coffee. This is not a comprehensive list, so I'm sure I'm gonna miss a ton of great spots, and I'm sorry about that, but let me hit some that I do know of. Food, Mugsy's Tavern. You got the Rusty Moose, Kootenai River Brewing Co. Everybody loves a brewery. Mi Pueblo for the Mexican food. And then coffee shop, also food there was the Gathering Place. Kristen and I popped in there for a sandwich. It was delicious. And then we got some coffee there as well. Nice young ladies working the counter. A good point. Big John wanted me to point this out. The raw milk at the Gathering Place has the name of the cow written on the container that you're drinking the milk from. How cool is that? So you get to drink milk from Old Betsy. And I think that's pretty neat. That's the kind of town it is up here, for sure. Coffee shops, a couple more. You got Lower Coffee Roasters. There are a bunch up there. I'm sorry, I know I missed a few. There's craft shops, antique stores, farmers markets. So there's a lot going on up there, and you can get a lot of locally produced foods and goods, which is something that's near and dear to my heart. And I think if you're looking at North Idaho, you're probably thinking the same thing of finding that kind of spot. Let's see, events. Bonners Ferry has some cool events in town. You've got Kootenai River Days. That event typically includes a parade, fireworks, music vendors, and various other activities. So that's a cool one to check out. 4th of July parade, of course, is always a banger everywhere you go in North Idaho because we love our freedom. And Bonners Ferry is extremely patriotic and very conservative, as I mentioned. So I think that pretty much hits on it. I would say the overall, if you're wondering, the overall community vibe here is very friendly, very traditional, and very conservative leaning. Like I said earlier, if you are super liberal and you like the government to control every aspect of your life, I don't think you'd like it here. That's just me being honest. There's lots of Trump signs and lots of gun-toting, unapologetic Americans, just the way we like them. So if you are from that side, you might want to avoid it. Friendly advice. Well, would you look at that? There's a golf course too. So yep, Bonners Ferry has a golf course. In fact, my father-in-law plays here quite frequently in the summertime. Shout out to Big Dan. I know he watches our channel. So yeah, you've got a golf course right here in Bonners Ferry. Actually looks pretty nice too. All right, thank you guys for joining me on this tour of Bonners Ferry, Idaho. It is extremely far north. It is a small, wonderful town with a great community feel, and it's super conservative. Maybe that checks all the boxes for you. If it does, give our real estate team a call. We are up here all the time doing work. We can help you with that. We've done tons of deals up here. We know the area well, and we would love to help you make that smooth move. Maybe right here to Bonners Ferry.